Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a special edition of Pub Table Racers. I'm Tim Packman. Sitting next to me is
Kyle Belmont.
Kyle Belmont. Warren's not here tonight because Warren is in the COVID protocol. Good way to put it. A while ago, his wife Kim, and our business manager for Pub Table Racers, tested positive. So Warren was put in the protocol by Team Penske. We followed their rules and regulations. He is fine. Kim is fine. She's back to work, and hopefully have Warren back next week. So bringing in, we had our guest was Kyle Belmont, also known as KB. We welcome you all, and so you're not only our guest, you're our first guest co-host.
Just making history.
Just making history here, right? So because we couldn't use the man cave, look at this, couldn't use the man cave, Kyle said, come on over to the house, and we'll set up here. So here we are set up, and Dad is here, your dad, Andy, nice to hear you. Whose kitchen? Okay, the kitchen is
my kitchen.
Kyle's kitchen. So we couldn't use the man cave and everything. Darnell's on. By the way, new haircut, courtesy of Darnell. So if you want to get an awesome haircut, I actually went in today. I've known her for 20 years, let's say. Been cutting my hair for decades. I said, I want something different, new. I actually went in and I shut my eyes, and I had no idea what was coming until I was done. And this is what came out. So
perfect.
Pretty good. So now it's like I look like one of the cool kids. All right. So Warren's fine, so we don't need to start a Save Warren or a fun war. He's fine, the family's fine.
Oh, he's bulletproof. He's fine. I've seen him in worse situations.
You work with him, right. That's right. So with Warren, Kyle said, well, let's just wing it with him. So we're going to do that. Also, we did the introduction. Kyle, you watch the show. Why do we have a bucket of Miller High Life in front of us?
That's just what you drink. You have to.
Right.
It's Bobby Allison's sponsor. You got to.
Boy, I'll tell you, get the shtick down pretty good. Watch out, Warren, there. All right, so we'll get it started. And, of course, we'll do the, well, you got a lot of friends on here, bud. Do the toast. Welcome aboard. Appreciate you letting us into your house.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We didn't raid the liquor cabinet yet, so that's kind of good. All right, so we already introduced you. Before we get started on all the news and everything, this show is brought to you by Lake Norman Patio and Game Rooms. Give them a call at 704-660-0527. Go see Brad, go see JoJo. The new furniture they have, they're on Brawley School Road, right by Oak and Canvasback. The new furniture they have in now, if you're looking out your back window at your deck or your patio and go, man, my stuff sucks, we need new stuff, go see Brad. He has it all. Pool tables, foosball tables, tabletop hockey, just everything you need, guitars, artwork, really cool stuff. So go see them. It's also brought to you by, now normally Warren does his van away, so racingjunk.com. If you have a motorcycle, if you have a race car, race shop, clothing, anything you need, parts, pieces, go log on to racingjunk.com. They will take care of you. You ever tried them before? You ever checked them out?
Oh yeah, plenty of times. Plenty of times.
Good stuff there, right?
Race car parts, absolutely.
A lot of race car parts. They have, sell them, buy, sell, trade. Go do that. Also, we want to thank the Garage Shop, Aaron Brown, those guys over there for their support. And if you've been following along, I've been hosting the Garage Shop Insider podcast every Monday night at 7 on the Garage Shop YouTube channel. Great things they're building there. They built the Dodge Daytona, Bobby Isaacs. They're just finishing the last touches on the Ford Talladega. And later this month, we're going to go to Arkansas, and we're going to do some speed runs there. So we'll be there covering some other great content. But there, Rapid Removal, Darren Russell. Go check him out. You know him too.
Oh yeah.
There's a Team Penske thing going on. Good guy, great guy.
Great
and he has 20-yard containers that he can pull in, put right in your yard on wheels. They stay there on the trailer. If you're refurbishing, remodeling, you're getting rid of building materials and everything, put him in there. Give him a call. And he's on our website and also on our Facebook page. You go check out there. And so go check him out. So those are all our sponsors. We appreciate you. And yes, matter of fact, we do have room for more. Give us a call. Okay, Dave Bystrom, Packman, when can I sponsor the bucket of beers? Anytime you want. Send me a message.
That's easy.
We take beer sponsorship.
Absolutely.
So you do have two duties tonight. Because you are kind enough to listen to your home, and Warren's not here, you have to drink your share and Warren's share.
No, I think I can handle it. He's a little fella. I know he don't drink that much.
Please. Right? Oh, wait a minute. Have you been out with that? We're talking Warren Brosell.
Get some two at a time.
Sorry about the delay here. We had some technical difficulties on Kyle's end and on our end. So, all right, let's talk about Martinsville. Let's talk about the Xfinity race. Josh Berry. How about that guy? On a limited schedule, 12 races this year, late model champion and junior motorsports, and he went out there and spanked them.
And it's honestly really cool because he's like, you know, your local short track kind of guy, and for him to get a shot in the Xfinity Series alone is really awesome. And then for him to go out there and actually win, especially at a place like Martinsville, just so historic, it's a pretty cool deal. It's awesome to see him go out there with some of the big guns, so to say, and end up, you know, coming out on top. So it's pretty cool.
And I was there, we watched it, and I was kind of watching during the race because, you know, TV doesn't show anything. He just, like, if he got down or got back, he just methodically worked his way to the front.
Oh, yeah.
Was not afraid to use that chrome horn to get himself to the front. So congratulations. And Dale Jr. was very, very open and honest. He said, "I have not cried over a race like that," he said, "ever." And he said when it got down to the end, he couldn't watch. And he was like, he had to leave the room. He looked back when it was white flag. And so congrats to him for giving him a start. He met him in iRacing.
Oh, yeah. And I can kind of somewhat relate to that. Obviously not even close to Dale Jr., but I remember my dad's team was running Springfield, and I was actually on a golf course. I had a broken foot at the time, and I just run a legend car, and they were leading the race, and I'm watching it, and there's like 10 to go. I'm like, I can't watch it. It's like, I know how this goes. I said, if I keep watching it, someone's going to wreck, something's going to happen. You know, like the motor's going to fall out. Like, I can't watch it. And sure enough, they won. So it's really cool that he's passionate enough about the guy he's got driving for him that he's that emotional about it. And it's pretty neat that, you know, for Josh, like his whole, I shouldn't say his whole fan base, but like his, you know, his family, his core fan base is there to watch him because you're going to have fans, you know, throughout your entire career, but your family's always going to back you regardless of what you're doing. So it was really neat to see them there.
When he got out of the car, to echo what you're saying, when he got out of the car, it was loud. I mean, the fans were like cheering for him, cheering for Dale Jr. I don't know, but he was well received in the excitement and everything. But before we go on, let's talk about your dad, Andy Belmont, ARCA standout. What's he up to now?
So he actually owns the repair shop that my grandfather started back in 1957.
Here comes the ice maker, right?
Yeah, and about 2010-ish, we were all kind of coming up through the ARCA series, me and my older brother, and my grandmother was starting to suffer from dementia and all that, so my grandfather decided he wanted to kind of pull the plug on it and take care of her and you know, kind of enjoy the retired life. So that's probably one of the more noble things I've ever seen my dad do. He just said, okay, that's it. Sold everything right then and there. You know, we had deals on the table, and he said, no, I'm going to go take care of family. So he sold it all, went home, and took over Pennsylvania.
Whereabouts?
Langhorne, Pennsylvania. So went home, took over the business, and then bought a couple of dirt cars so we can still stay in it a little bit and help some market people out here and there.
Good.
But, yeah.
Now, I believe you've gotten behind the wheel a few times yourself?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, every once in a while I get to try and see if I'm going to end up in the catch fence or win the race. 2 weeks ago was the last time that I drove, and I mean, it's just fun. Like it just reminds me of when I was younger, working with my dad and my older brother. Like you know, you're a family-based team. You've got your entire family's involved. My mom was a spotter. My dad was a crew chief and team manager, of course, and the owner, and my little brother would help out, sweep the floor, do whatever he could. So it's a lot of fun when I get to go up there and mess around, and I don't get yelled at. I actually do good. It's a great time. So
who yells at you?
Half the time it's myself, to be honest with you. I mean, driver and the crew chief. Sometimes the crew chief messes up, and the driver messes up worse. So you know.
So your job is at Team Penske as an interior mechanic for Brad Kozlowski. So what does that all entail for people that, you know, tell them what you do is kind of
So basically, I get a car and it's built by the assembly team, and I go through and I make sure that everything is in there correct to the safety measures that NASCAR has, and then I go through all of NASCAR's forms that they have, fill them out, make sure that they know what we have in the car in case something ever were to happen. And you know, when we have like an in-car camera, stuff like that, make sure everything is properly displayed,
Right.
you know, like we have here.
Right, thank you.
So,
Just real quick, so you folks know, you can tell Andy watches, I mean, not Andy, Kyle watches the show a lot, because as I was frantically setting up, we were having some technical difficulties. He's putting the hats out, he's putting the stickers out here that you can buy. He takes the shirt, hangs it behind us, also available through our website, pubtableracers.com, hit merchandise. And I was laughing, I caught him on the corner, I go, oh, look at you, it's like you're a grip here, so thank you for your help in setting all that up, too.
It's done a lot of marketing and advertising coming up through.
You get
so I get it.
All right, Ian Moy, who you work with?
Yeah, absolutely.
PR guy, right?
Mhm.
Public communications,
Great
whatever
guy.
it is now. Great guy. He says Kyle's one of the best guys in the garage area. Enjoy every minute of working with him, and that's good. That's good.
That's
company.
good. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Zachary Ralston.
Oh yeah, he used to work for my dad years
Okay.
ago and has his own little racing career going on.
He
He's a pretty
says
good guy.
Andy Belmont Racing for Life. Andy introduced a lot of great talent to our sport. So the legacy you leave behind is the one that you create sometimes. So I gotta say to my
Absolutely.
uncle, hi man. I'm sorry we didn't get to everybody. We piled on. We were behind, and I would get a little anyhow.
Little flustered.
That's okay, but it's all right because
Oh yeah.
because we missed we took last week off because there was no racing, so we just took a week off. So what your duties include what we talked about, and some of your dad's accomplishments. We got to talk about these. Nazareth Sportsman Champ was that 1980?
Yep.
NASCAR Goodies Dash 1987. Pole sitter in Daytona was it 88, 89, and Charlotte. So that's some pretty big accomplishments right there.
That was a shoe back in the
Yeah,
day.
right.
It's funny you had Frank Kimmel on here, and I just was watching the show. I was actually driving. That's when I was going to run the dirt car. I was
Okay.
driving to Pennsylvania to go race this car, and the entire time he's on the show, all I wanted to tell was a story about. I think it was
tell him now,
Winchester.
right?
I was on my dad's shoulders. He finished third.
He's not here now, but go ahead.
Oh yeah, he'd finished third, and I remember we were sitting there. We went through tech and all that, and Frank goes, if you tell me that I'm better than your dad, I'll buy you a Coke. And I was like, nope, ain't gonna do it. Wouldn't do it because I know that I got to ride back in the motorhome with him. It's like besides, I don't agree with it. I'm just saying.
How old were you?
I was probably 7 years old
Okay,
at the time.
good
It
man.
was a while ago.
Good,
yeah.
Allegiant. Brittany Heath Cummings says, tell Reggie Cash said hello. Now, where's
Hey,
the
Cash.
Reggie come from? So I've got Reggie, Kyle, and Katie.
Oh man, there's nicknames.
What the hell's your name? I mean, I'm trying to
Yeah,
figure this out.
there's a whole bunch of nicknames.
Yeah.
I think Darren's the one that may have started it. Darren or
Russell?
Andretti.
Yeah, okay.
But that was about the first year that I worked on the Wood Brothers car at the time. It's 2016,
Okay.
and I'm not really sure how it stuck, but
You're getting a lot of Reggie here right now. just so you
he's
know.
called me that ever since. And it's kind of funny because Penske, there's so much depth at Penske, and it's
Yeah.
like I'll go work in a different department sometimes in the off season. So this past off season, I went and worked in the carbon shop, was working on IndyCar parts and all that.
That'd be pretty
And,
cool.
that was pretty neat.
Yeah.
And it was kind of funny because they're like, they said this guy Reggie's supposed to work. I'm like, yeah, that's me. And I'm like, no, yeah, it's me. Your name's Kyle. I said, I know what my name is. I'm just telling you. I get called a whole bunch of different things. So.
Dennis Russell says you're looking good, Reggie. Candace Alquist, Reggie. Alexandra Russell, Reggie. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
And here's a nice compliment. Todd Calkin says the whole Belmont family is a class act. There you go.
That's very
So what else did you do? How did you get your start? Like with your dad, and then you came south.
So, when I worked with my dad, basically all growing up, racing wasn't like, for us it was just normal. That's kind of how we operated. That's all that we'd ever done. And I'd raced cars since I was 6 years old. And I got into a car accident leaving Daytona, and it hurt my back quite a bit. So it took about 9 months of rehab. And right when I got good to drive, I drove a modified once, and then we moved up north.
Okay.
And I went to college for 3 years because I was business.
Okay.
So I was like, well, if this doesn't work out, I know that I'm good in business, and
Right.
I like, just the whole operation of that. So went to school for business, and my wife now, she was my girlfriend at the time, she lived with me, and she's like, I miss my family, I want to move home. And
Yeah.
I was like, well, I really don't have a play there. I don't really have something to go to.
Yeah.
I said, but I'll try it. I said, racing's the only thing I know, so you're going to have to live with me working on race cars and
Sure.
traveling. And I came down here and I spent about half a year sleeping on a couch, eating turkey and cheese, trying to get by. And Jeremy Bullins called me to work on the Wood Brothers car
Okay.
after I'd been at Tristsar for 3 or 4 months or
Okay.
so. And
It's good to have those connections, those relationships.
yeah, it worked
And Jeremy
out well.
is both.
He's the crew chief now for Keselowski.
Got
He
it.
was at the time. It was Blaney on that 21 car.
Okay.
So it worked out. And I'll never forget the first time that I had actually worked with Darren. We were at Daytona, and we were swapping engines because at the time you'd go run your dual, whatever, and then you sit there and you swap it out. You got to run happy hour.
Right. Swap that out.
So I get all my stuff done, and you know I can kind of zoom through the inside of the car fairly quickly. I know it needs to be checked, and I get done, and Darren's sitting there dressing the motor up, which is just putting on water pumps, all that stuff. So he's got the power steering pump on there, and he's fiddling with something else. And I said, "Here," I said, "Is it still half turn on the belt?" And he just looked at me like I had 10 heads. I'm like, "Is it a half turn on the belt? Is that all tightness we're going?" And he's like, "Yeah." I said, "All right." So I sat there and did it, and the whole day went by, and then he's like, I never had an interior person help with that. And I was like, I just know from working with my dad, like you never really had a title. You just kind of swapped around with whatever you're able to do.
Darren's on, he just called you Buddy.
Oh, yeah.
And wait, and then Clint Alquist comes in, Buddy, so...
Oh, yeah. Basically, that means
is this another name?
The
or?
next 2 days of work
Right
there, that's what that means.
Okay.
Anytime I hear Buddy, that means, hey, can you move a shed with your bare hands?
Oh, okay, good. That's perfect. So any questions or comments, ask Kyle, KB, Reggie, Buddy. Bring them on in, then you're part of this. Like we said, Warren's not here tonight. His wife Kim tested positive a couple weeks ago. She's fine now. She went through she felt like it was just like a sinus headache, and because Warren was exposed, but him and the two boys are fine. But we're following Team Penske protocol. So Warren is off tomorrow, not off of it tomorrow. He can get his test and be negative, and then we'll be back to the man cave. Ryan Clark, who's that? How do I put this tastefully? Would you be surprised Team Penske announced a program to run Le Mans? Would you be surprised? I guess that's for you.
With all the road course racing that NASCAR is doing, I wouldn't really be surprised if they threw that into the mix. I personally would like to see more short tracks, like more of the characteristic short tracks. There's a lot of these tracks are just paved and it's smooth and it's, we're racing cars where you got these splitters and you're just everything is down to the thousandth, and it's like it'd be nice to go to a place where it's just rough and you gotta really drive the race car.
Kind of like what we saw this weekend.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, speaking of, we didn't talk about the Cup race. Martin Truex Jr. Didn't lead the most laps, but led the ones that counted there. And at the end, won again. I think it was 5 out of 8 short tracks. After he went 80 races without winning anything short track. Now he's 5 of the last 8. I had an opportunity to work with Warren Martin, sorry. Martin, back in the Dale Earnhardt Incorporated days as his PR guy. We won the 2 championships, and he's just so smooth and consistent and calm for the most part. And now he's like, all the stuff he's doing now, it's like he's still learning and still getting better.
Yeah, a lot of that goes back to equipment that you're in. When he was in the DEI car, it was kind of like at the years that they were fading. I wouldn't say that they were a B grade team by any means, but they just weren't at the level that they started at. Right. And obviously a lot had gone on there, so it's 100% respectable. But now that he's in good equipment, you can really see like this guy's got a lot of talent.
Sure does. Right from the start he did. Dan Lynch, who's he?
He's an interior guy on Blaney's car.
Okay, he says you are the second best interior guy you know. Well done, Dan.
That's probably true.
That's good. Zachary Ralston, he says, Kyle, do you think your dad should start another ARCA team?
That's a loaded question. He had the opportunity to, and he had talked to me about it, and it's not the same that it used to be, and that series has always been good to us, and it's got a lot of good people in it. But I don't feel like where we're at right now, as much as he may argue, I feel like he enjoys the semi-retirement kind of life, and going to the dirt track when you want to type of deal. Yeah. And he's one of them people where he goes to work and he's on kill all the time. Like failure's not an option, and it's boom, 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 we get it done. And I just don't feel like with him running the shop the way he's doing that he needs to add another ARCA team.
Right.
But his knowledge hasn't changed. If he wants to go help somebody, absolutely.
Good.
As far as him being the owner and taking on all that responsibility, I don't think we're there yet.
Okay. Well, it's a big decision once you make it.
Absolutely.
Are you ready for an upgrade? Need to refresh that patio? Want to add more fun to your home? Lake Norman Patio and Game Rooms makes it fun to stay at home. We offer a huge selection of high-quality outdoor furniture, pool tables, shuffleboard, ping pong, and much, much more. Your oasis awaits. So don't miss the boat. Take your patio or game room up to the next level. Lake Norman Patio and Game Rooms. Stop in today or visit us online at lknpatio.com.
Clint Almquist says, I think the highlights are getting warm. Pick up the pace, buddy.
Here we go.
You're going to have, you know what? You're going to have a hell of a couple of days at Team Penske when you go back. Speaking of racing and teams and stuff, Jennifer Jo Cobb, former guest on Pub Table Racers, Truck Series team owner for the last 11 years, has made 261 starts in the series, 31 in Xfinity, announced today that she is going to run her first Cup race at Talladega with Arrowhead Brass and also Fastener Supply Company on the car. She's going to run the number 15 Camaro Chevrolet for Rick Ware Racing. So, you know what? If you talk about your dad making a decision, so here she is. She's like, okay, let's go racing, and she's making her first Cup start at Talladega. I think it's a pretty good place to do that.
Absolutely, and it's like it kind of reminds you of the early 2000s where you go to a lot of these races and you had like your Dover and Daytona, Talladega, like just kind of it wasn't really like a mesh deal of these are the tracks you wanted to go to, but you always had people that aren't normally in the series would go and try and make their start.
Sure.
And especially now with the way that the NASCAR protocol is, like it's nice that it's not an added on team, but it's just someone new in that series, and you never really know what can happen. I mean, you've seen a lot of these plate races go a whole different direction than what you thought, so I think it'll be nice to see.
And plus, she's guaranteed, so the pressure's off.
And you get to be the PR person, so I hear.
Thank you for taking my announcement. But you can tell you've done marketing. So on a personal note, Jennifer called me that day, and her sponsor, Fastener Supply Company, and they asked me to help out for her Cup debut in Talladega. So I'm proud to help her out and be part of history with her, and whatever I can do to help out, that'll be good. So it's nice to get, they call the bullpen once in a while.
Oh, yeah.
Remember old Tim Packman sitting over there on the sidelines, not really twiddling my thumbs, but no, it'll be great. I mean, she's determined, and she's very articulate, good with sponsors for mechanical knowledge. Sometimes she talks and I'm sitting there going, it's like airplanes over my head. The time we had her on, her and Warren had this 20-minute conversation after the show about brakes and mechanics, and like even Warren said, damn, she knows her stuff. I said, yeah, when you're a driver owner, you have to.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so who do we have here? Tim Sheets, where the heck is Warren? He's coming over to work for you. He'll be there in a couple minutes. Pop-Tart, Marilyn Moses from Akron, New York. Hey Tim, I'm finally watching. We appreciate it. Dan Lynch again. But you got some real good friends here, buddy.
Oh yeah.
He says every time someone comments, Buddy Kyle has to drink. Let's go.
Oh jeez.
I love it. This is fun. And I appreciate you again. So the Cup Series, and you with Brad, you're helping out. His car had an early demise last week, and that's got to be tough because you guys put so much effort, so much work into getting those cars ready.
Yeah, I mean it's one of the things you really do. You sit there and you watch, oh yeah, great, here we go again.
Right. It's Martinsville,
it's just kind of part of the deal that you're a part of. Right. And I watch it. I'm like, oh, yep, Brad stopped right here, and then you got a guy behind him that's.
What's the comment made? He wanted to what?
He wanted to see the number on the transmission. He was just curious, and drove it a little bit too hard.
Got
what
it.
happens?
Alexander Russell just said, buddy. So your friends are showing up on this whole deal. Folks, any questions or comments for Kyle, KB, Buddy, Reggie, our guest and host tonight and co-host tonight? It was good. I told him, I said, you know, whatever, I bought a 12-pack of High Life, and I said, whatever's left over, you get to keep.
Doesn't look like it's going to be
No.
very much here. I mean, we got, what, 3 in the bucket here and the box over there.
Yeah, we got
It's not
about
looking
20
good.
minutes to go. So that'll be good. Darren Russell, I need help moving a Ford 9-inch rear end upstairs.
Oh, yeah.
Shouldn't take too long. Is there a story behind
Oh,
that?
there's a great story behind
Okay,
it.
Darren,
So,
you keep bringing them out. We're going to throw them in there.
Darren called me and
Darren Russell of Rapid Removal. We should
absolutely, yeah. And I never mind helping Darren. He's a great guy. He'll do anything for you. And he called me. He said, "Yeah, I need help moving." And he's one of them people. He'll tell you, "Yeah, it's just a couple of things."
Right.
And I get there, and it's like a truck full and a trailer full. And we get to this last item he wants to move, and it's an actual Ford 9-inch. It's got leaf springs on it. I mean, everything to
Wait,
it.
this isn't at work. This is outside.
this is-
this is outside.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, help me move some
So-
stuff. Yeah.
We go to move it, and he wants to put this thing upstairs into one of his rooms in his building that he owns.
Right.
And I mean, I can't pick this thing up and carry it up.
Sure.
So we both have ratchet straps around our necks, around this thing, and like I had pulled my back like a week before that.
Sure.
He's like, "Oh well, you know, you just stand up, you'll be okay." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure."
Now he's a doctor.
Exactly.
Nice.
That's exactly how that works. So we move this thing up, and he's like, you know, trying to direct me, but he's doing it the Darren way. He's like, "Reggie, you need to go this way. You need to go this way."
Sure.
And I'm like, "Man, I might just unclick this thing and drop it right on the stairs and see what happens." Like, but
Nice.
yeah, I think I've helped him move at least 4 times in and out of the same building.
That's good.
The last one was my favorite though
Oh, please
because
share.
he was moving into a new house. He just got it built,
Yeah.
and he gets myself and our car chief Kirk to come help him. And we drive all the way down to Denver to go get all this stuff. We pull in, we stop, we unload. He said 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, whatever it was. An hour and a half later is when we left. And
Okay.
we get down there, and he forgets keys.
Ah.
And he's like,
Way to go,
he's,
Darren.
he's calling people and trying to, you know, shimmy the door open. I said, yeah. These people left for a week. They're renting a building. They're going to leave the door unlocked so that you might move this day, you know. But oh yeah.
Okay. Nice. Who's Dennis Russell?
That's Darren's father.
Okay, he said,
Great
"Hey, buddy."
guy. Well,
He's joining. He's joining in.
Hey.
See, you got no place to go. You're good. You just have to go. By the way, you have a beautiful home.
Thank
and
you.
I
Appreciate
thank you
it.
all. I love the flooring. We're not going to show you all, but the kitchen, you know, is perfect, and it makes a great set. And we put it together.
happy wife, happy life. That's what they say.
Did she leave or?
Oh, she works nights. Yeah,
Oh, okay,
she's a
got
labor
it.
and delivery nurse, so she works.
Okay,
nights.
got it. All right. Sorry she wasn't here. Ray Harrison says, "Andy Belmont Wrestling was always my favorite ARCA team since I lived right near Langhorne. Kyle's a great guy and an awesome friend." There you go.
Yeah,
And
actually,
by the way, go
went
ahead.
to college with him
right.
at Bucks Community College.
Okay.
And I remember we were sitting in whatever class it was when I met him, and the guys going around it. My whole life it was this way. They'd ask you, you know, what you did before you got here,
Right.
and you tell anybody that's like up north that, oh yeah, well, I drove race cars, and they look at you like, what are you talking? You drove race like that doesn't exist, type of thing. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I drove race cars. So my dad was a race car driver, but yeah, he's a great guy.
Good. So I went to Buffalo State College, my second try at school, and they said, "So what are you looking to do?" I said, "Well, I want to be a NASCAR broadcaster or writer." And these teachers never heard this before because, you know, I'm working at Lancaster Speedway as the announcer in Ransomville, and they're like, "You got to find something else. You got to find a backup plan." I go, "No, I don't.
Nope,
No, I don't. That's what I'm doing." There you go. Let's see. Darren Russell said your story's spot on. Alexandria Russell says, "We're getting the Christmas tree in the house."
Oh,
I guess you help with the Christmas tree.
Yeah, and like a normal person would buy like a 10-foot Christmas tree.
Sure,
or
not
whatever.
Darren, right?
No, Darren, he buys. It looked literally like out of the Griswold, movie.
Sure.
So we drag this thing in there, and we get it all propped up. It took 5 of us to push this thing up. And I'm telling you, he cut the twine to get this thing unwound. And the hunter was still up in the tree, in the tree stand. So it was,
that big?
oh, it was, yeah.
Nice.
Oh, I'm telling you, it was monstrosity.
All right, well, now Alexandra, I guess that's the wife, says the Christmas tree just got 3 feet taller next year.
No,
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, I'm going to be sick that week.
That's good. Wait, he's a sponsor, so he calls. I'll send more over.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's your sponsor. He don't sponsor me yet.
Sounds like you sponsor him, all the work you do. Through the years with your dad racing and you're racing, and you also did some marketing and some other things. So what did that entail? For your dad when he was racing? Is that
so? Basically, there was a couple times later in the years of ABR that I did a lot of the, PR stuff and would help out with the woman that was doing that. And then after that, when we transitioned to Belmont's Garage, we have a Langhorne Business Association. I'd go handle all the meetings for that. And then they had a car show that they did. And it was kind of funny because, there's all these business owners in there. And then there's this 18-year-old kid. And I'm presenting them with ideas, and it's just getting shot down left and right. And I finally told him, I was like, if you just give me just a little bit here, I'll show you. I know what I'm talking about. So that one car show that I did, they got probably 600 or 700 more cars to the point where they couldn't park them in the street.
Nice.
You had people just doing drive-bys until you could actually park.
Right.
They raised more than triple what they made that event, and it ended up being really good. And the whole time I was like, I wasn't trying to sit there and gloat, but I literally, I sat there and I told my wife, who was then my girlfriend, I was like, all right, well, car show's over, let's go to the beaches. I really don't want to talk to any of them right now. After listening to all this, I just want to go. So
you, I don't want to say you proved yourself, you proved your worth, your value. Good ideas, and the support was there.
Yeah, and it's pretty good. It all stemmed back to what we did with the race team, because the race team with the ARCA scale, like you're at the national level, but you're still in ties with your local level.
Right.
And went to all the sponsor meetings with my dad, and I learned a whole bunch working with both my parents with all of that. So like just trying to explain to people that haven't been presented with those kind of opportunities, it was just kind of difficult, but. Yeah, once I did it, I was like, well, there you go. Here it is. It's sponsored. You didn't spend a dime. You made money. You had the most amount of cars. So.
Peace out. I got it.
Yeah.
All right. Besides your dad, when you're growing up, who are your heroes or guys that you looked up to as far as racers?
So.
And your dad's a given.
Yeah, Dad was always good, and I always wanted to be more like a Davey Allison.
Good choice.
And. Ironically, the other one was my older brother. Okay. So, when I was growing up, my older brother was just, and I say it to the race team all the time, so you got the wrong Belmont, I promise you. I was like, my older brother is crazy smart. He's a great fabricator, great mechanic, and he could just understand. Like, you could show him something, he would just immediately get it.
Right.
And I was never that way.
Oh.
And we raced with each other all growing up, and I always just wanted to be like just as smart as he was, because we get in a race car and it was like, well, I know I can beat you, I might not be as smooth as you are and all that stuff. I was like, but I can move you as good as anybody else. And that was kind of like my MO. I always was, you didn't have to change anything but the right rear tire and the front bumper. I was good to go. But
it's the front bumper.
Yeah, like honestly, it was, we grew up. When Dad started us in racing, we started with a quarter midget in the front yard, and I hated it when we started that.
Really?
I was more terrified of that thing because he would always, and it would bother me, he'd turn this thing on this jack stand, and I was always afraid this thing would drop when I'm trying to get in and just take off and hit something. So I was always afraid of it. Well, my older brother would explain things to me and all that, and it got me comfortable enough, and then when I started racing with him, well, if I didn't beat him, I was angry.
Of course.
As we got through the ranks and got more and more competitive, it just, it ended up working out. But yeah, as far as the racers go, it was definitely Davey Allison and then my older brother. Plus, I was never tall enough to drive anything. He always got to drive everything, and I would just, every time I got in the car, it was like, all right, how many rags we got to put behind your seat, or what block do we need to put on the gas pedal?
How tall are you?
I'm 5'5".
Okay, got it. All right.
So yeah, it was. I'm the shortest one in the family, so I
Got it.
definitely didn't get blessed with any of that.
That's all right, but you had your marketing knowledge and mechanical knowledge, and it's working for you well now.
Yeah.
So perfect. How long have you been with Team Penske now?
So I started in 2008, so this is 13, or I'm sorry, third year.
Third
Started
year.
in 2018, this is my
Okay.
third year. But
And one of your favorite memories with Team Penske so far?
that's a tough one.
Really?
Because I was blown away just working at Penske.
I'm sure.
Like when I
It is true.
started with the Cup Series, it was the Wood Brothers, and we go way back with the Wood Brothers. It was just
Right.
it was super cool just to work for such a legendary team, and then they transferred me over to Penske, and I was just blown away. Like the size of the shop that you got here, and the depth that you got here, and their expectation level, and what. Even your appearance, like everything
Oh, yeah.
about it is just
Structured.
it's top of the line and it's structured.
And
and
it's expected of you.
yeah.
But the thing is, when you walk in the door at Team Penske, you know that.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
if they say you need to wear this, you wear that.
They
What?
crew chief
Okay.
actually used to pick fun of me a little bit when I started because both my interviews for Penske and for Wood Brothers, I showed up in a nice shirt and a
Uh-huh.
tie and a vest.
Yeah.
I'll never forget Eddie Wood. He's like,
Who
most
was
people,
this?
Eddie Wood.
Eddie Wood?
He
Oh,
said,
was
most
there?
people just show up here in a t-shirt.
Mm.
And I said, well, like, the way that I was raised with my dad is you need to dress for the part that you want. And yeah,
Exactly.
like, I'm applying for a mechanic. You're not going to be wearing
Doesn't
this.
matter.
But you're talking about top of the
Sure.
echelon teams, But I think with Penske, like, we've won a bunch of races, and it's been great. Like, winning the Roval was awesome
Right.
because we did not have a pot to pee in or a window to throw it out type of deal, and we ended up winning. I thought that was pretty cool. But honestly, just being at the Daytona 500 and that's my favorite race.
Ditto.
And I've been a part of the other end of it with my dad trying to make the race and knowing how hard it was. And then I go to work for a team, and it's like you're guaranteed in. You're in the show, and it didn't matter. And obviously it was great with the Wood Brothers, but with a team like Team Penske, you're talking about championship team. Roger the captain. Like it's just there's a lot of I don't know what you would even call it, but just a lot of class you need to hold up.
Sure.
It's a great organization to work for.
You're not gonna walk into Team Penske and just get by.
No.
No, you're gonna.
No, you need to work.
The whole attitude, the whole aura in there is you're a Team Penske.
Yeah.
Good. Wood Brother, what was it like working with them?
It was honestly like working for my dad.
How's that?
You're on a big team scale, but like, small team mentality. And it's super cool because it's the same way. Their whole family is there. Like there's so much structure there that people don't get to see. Like, the whole family is literally at the racetrack.
Yeah, and they're there.
You
Always.
have a whole fan base that's there before you even hit the racetrack. You could go out there and run 32nd, but you got people rooting you on to make the 31st.
Sure.
And like that was one of the cooler moments for me was to win at Pocono with them because that being closest to my house and
Well, it's for you, yeah.
all that, and it was just like that day could not be any worse for a race team. We had a loose wheel, we had radios not working, and I'm like, oh, this is a dumpster fire. And we ended up winning without even being
Who was the driver then?
That was Blaney.
Blaine, that's right, yeah.
We
Okay.
couldn't even hear him talk the whole time. He was doing the whole hand on the roof, hand on the door deal,
For what? Because the.
and loose or tight.
Oh, okay, got
And-
because the radio was out,
The
or.
radio wasn't working.
Okay. And you win.
Ended up winning.
Okay.
So it was a pretty cool deal.
That's awesome. I mean, the thing I always very impressed about them is they are so down to earth. And you walk up and say hi, they go, "Hey, how you doing, young man?" And they'll talk to you, and like they're like, "Oh, you're talking to me?" Like, because
Oh, yeah.
I'm just some idiot from Buffalo, and lucky to be standing like the same circle, the 5-foot circle. They always come over, "How's it going?" "Good." And they start talking about stuff. I'm like, "Okay, this is cool." And like you appreciate those little moments, type thing.
That was the first interview I even had with them. I walked in,
What were you wearing?
I was wearing the button-down
Sure,
shirt with
sure.
the tie and the
Sure.
vest and all that, and I was super worried. And I walked in, and the very first thing that Len and Eddie said, they both start laughing, and I'm like, oh,
Here we go.
I'm in trouble. And they look at each other, and Eddie looks at me and goes, "You look just like your father." And I was like, whew. All right, well, I guess that's good, like.
Not how you were dressed.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was like, that's
I
good.
can't help this.
Yeah. I was like, get it.
Very good. Tom Beatty, hey, dude, #1 fan. You just got here. That's 2 demerits. You're now a #2 fan.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he's the #1 fan. You know Tom Beatty?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he knows Tom. He knows who you are. So there you go. Can you start the show? Or, sorry, where have you been? I know we started late, but still. What are your goals now? As you know, you're going on and you're still.
My
How
biggest
old are you now?
26.
26. Wow, good for you. God bless. Your biggest goal is as you slip down into your future there.
You know, like I always want to win a championship
Sure.
with the car that I'm on.
Right.
You know, like winning with Joey was cool. It's a team car and all
Right.
that. But I just want to win one with the one that I'm on. But for me, like a personal goal is I just want to win the Daytona 500.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I've seen so much effort just from my family, just for us to get there.
Right.
And he was in the transfer spot to make it in, and he blew up. And it was just, it's heartbreaking. And I always just wanted to make it just say, yeah, he got into the big show. And I mean, working out of our garage in
Sure.
Pennsylvania, like half the team was volunteers. And it was
That's
just,
a great story. That's it. But that's the sport that people understand. Like this racing thing, it's not for some of us. It's not just like, oh, that looks cool, but like you're dedicated. Like you're in. Like and that's kind of where this whole show started because Warren and I were like, man, you got the media side, I got the technical side, and we presented the show. I was like, and then I was like, you know what? Why not? But you go everywhere we go, we talk racing and we talk this, and it's not because we're bored. It's because we're so into it.
yep.
And like you're into it, you have your racing room upstairs, which I saw, and we all have our little things that we hang on the wall because you should be proud of what you did. I'm sure accountants don't hang their, hey, employee of the month. I mean,
Yeah.
but what we do is it's also very visible, and it's something people pay to go see. So you get it, and I get it, and Warren gets it. Let's see, Dan
And
Lynch. Hang on. Dan Lynch said, buddy. Just saying. By the way, folks, if you tuned in late, Tom, #2 fan now. If you say buddy, Reggie, KB, Kyle, buddy has to have a drink.
So that was one of my favorite things, though, working with Team Penske. We were at Talladega with Blaney, and my dad drove his bus down there, and he had one of our longtime family friends, Eddie Ruth, there, and you know, it rained that Saturday, and he was going to leave, and I said, no, if you leave, we always wreck or something happens. He said,
Who was
you
gonna
have
leave?
to stay. My dad. He
Okay,
he
got
had to
it.
go back to work. I said, just please, just stay.
Got it. Good luck, John.
So he stayed. We ended up winning the race
Right.
by whatever it was, the real close margin. And I think that to me was like hands down one of the coolest moments. Like I've won a bunch of races driving,
Right.
and Dad was there for some of them. He wasn't there for
Sure.
however many of them. But to win a race at the top level, and then the first
your dad.
person I walk into victory lane with is my dad. I
That's
think that
awesome.
was
That's
hands
good.
down the coolest moment
That's very
that
cool.
I've had. So.
I know when I was with teams that we win, I'd always have the driver sign one of the hats in victory lane. Monday I'd be at the post office. Tuesday I'd back to my dad
Yep.
in Akron, New York. And Wednesday he's wearing the hat. Where'd you get that? So where's that? Well, it's from victory lane from Sunday. And they're like, how'd you get so fast?
That's what I got to sit there and decide. I go up and I visit my dad, and I got to look around the house and see
Yeah.
where the next one can go. And that's how I decide which gets transferred or not.
Yeah,
So,
I recently moved and I found this whole bin with all these hats, and I'm like, what am I going to do with these? Well, you know, I'm going to hold on to them because they're all, you know, very special in some way. I still have the Budweiser cans from, you know, the victory lanes.
oh, really?
You know, I take them all, and you know, they're empty, of course. But I would. That's the only time Budweiser tastes really good. And I'd write the race nights, put them up in this bin, so I still have the damn things. Darren Russell says great show, or Dennis Russell. Any questions or comments? Send them in right now. We got a few minutes left here with Kyle. I'm just going to go with that. And you growing up in a racing family, did you ever look out at doing something else, or was it just?
So there was a brief moment where when I was working at my dad's shop that I really liked doing the business side of it. And even when we were chasing sponsorships and all the cool stuff that we got to do, like
Right.
just I enjoyed the business to business part of it.
Okay.
And there was a brief moment where I thought of it and I wanted to pursue it, and Dad was actually trying to help me. I
Right.
came down here and that's originally what I was going to do.
Okay.
And it's like, man, I just want to be at the racetrack. Like,
Right.
you know, even if it's like just going to Millbridge and watching, you know, just a local dirt track deal. Like, I just wanted to be at the racetrack. And I said, I don't know if I can really sit behind a desk
Right.
and then sit there on Sunday worrying about a report I got to do for Monday if I'm not at the racetrack. So.
You can do both. You know, you can sit behind us and go to the track.
Yeah, but
I've done it for years. So.
it's different for me.
I know. I understand going that whole thing. I get that part. So all the things you've done, does the business side still interest you in somewhat? Are you pretty good being an interior mechanic?
I mean, I enjoy both just as much.
So if Ian come down from the carpet land, you're welcome, Ian, and said, "Hey, we got this thing. You want to try it?" I'm just wondering because
It'd be difficult for me because I'd like to do it.
Right.
I wouldn't mind doing it at all.
But
at the same time, if we're in the middle of practice and you're thrashing,
right,
and I'm
you want to be
sitting there,
working on that car.
a white shirt on,
and you want to be working on that car.
I promise you, it's going to be covered in Copus slip when I'm done. Like I'm going to jump in there. Like there's no way that I can't. So.
I remember years ago when Warren and I were living in Concord. We first got in. Like he was working for a team, and we went down to watch, you know, the races because he wasn't really like working on the car. And so we got pit passes with him. The car gets wrecked, and he comes in, and all of a sudden, I'm not going to say we might have had a few beers or something, but all of a sudden he throws it in the trash and jumps in and goes, "Give me a Sawzall!" And he's in there, and next thing you know, he's jumping in there. And I was like, but it was amazing because I can't do that. My mechanical ability, you could put all of it right here. You know, it still won't fill it up. But it's the passion that you have for this whole deal.
Yeah.
It's quite amazing.
Absolutely, and
That's
it comes back to just growing up in it. Like we didn't really know any different, and then
Sure.
it's kind of crazy. You don't really appreciate what you've got until all of it goes away.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you, it went away for a very good reason,
Right.
and I 100% respect that.
Yep.
But once you race, you can't stop racing. Like you're gonna be involved one way or another,
Thank you.
and that's pretty much how it went. So.
All right, we're gonna wrap up here. First of all, Warren will be back next week. Warren somehow got in here, looking good, boys. Thanks. Zoanne, thanks for a great show, guys. Steph, shoot, that's my aunt. Miss you, Warren. Stay healthy and your whole family. Everyone's fine. They're good. We're just following the protocol, following the rules to keep everybody safe and within the Team Penske rules for your sake and that. So we appreciate your patience with our little delay. And I got to tell you something, buddy. You did a damn good job.
Well, I appreciate it.
I'm glad
you have me.
Thanks for the hospitality
Yeah, no problem.
and the internet and everything. Clint Leatherwood said, "Reggie, oh, you don't have to drink on that one." Yeah, we'll drink to that one.
I'll drink one more for
there
you.
You go, Clint. So we appreciate you having us over here, and thanks a lot. What do you got?
Crack one more for your
One more.
toast.
One more. Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. Boy, you are a fan of the show.
See that? I pay attention.
What I watch here. Oh, I gotta do that.
You gotta do a fresh one for the toast.
Oh, we got it. Man, telling you, if one of us gets sick, we're gonna have a quick fill in. Warren, if I have to go somewhere, you got your co-host right here. All right, thank you everybody. We appreciate you. Good luck. We'll be on next Tuesday. We don't have a guest as yet. Back in the man cave, same bad location, same bad time channel. And you did an awesome job. I appreciate it. Continued success and don't ever lose your passion for that. Because it's part of who you are.
Thank you, sir.
Say goodnight, Dick.
Good night, Dick.
Good night, Dick. Thanks, everybody. Stay safe. Wow. Hey, another great show.
Great
Thank
show.
you so much, everybody,
Yep,
for tuning
enjoyed
in.
it.
We appreciate it. We do this every Tuesday night. And Warren, I think the guests we've had have been fantastic.
Phenomenal.
And the people that are following us, we appreciate it. We're reaching 42,000 people a month. Can you believe that? And we appreciate you watching. And,
Right. We're having fun. Hope everybody else enjoys it.
that's it. And it's just a fun show. Bucket of beer. Guys sitting around talking about it. So keep tuning in. We appreciate it. Check out our store and everything. But we appreciate you people. And we will see you next week. Right, my friend?
Yes, sir.
All right. See you next week.